action in the skies, and that gives you Sky Rogue. So it's a only roguelike action flight simulator that I know of that I've seen in a long time. You don't see a lot of flight simulators these days. They used to be super popular in the 1990s, and you know, I guess there was Air Combat 7 and what was it, Gunrunner, or I forgot, Sky Gunner. But other than that, like it's been pretty quiet for the sims, the flight sims. So before each mission you should choose 4 fire powers that you desire, so you can choose from a variety of missiles, flares, you know, your machine gun. There's other stuff, there's a lot of unlockable stuff. The missions could be as basic as blowing up a tower, you know, blowing up some drones, a tank, a ship, etc. So missions then get complicated when you have to avoid AA turrets and SAMs. So you also get extra points for other kills that aren't necessary for the completion of the mission, but they give you extra points to take away and upgrade and everything. So the game really encourages, you know, the extra destruction for you to progress faster. There's split screen multiplayer, which I didn't get a chance to try. It's a little bit hard to do unless other people own the same games as you. But it's rather unique and very retro, reminded me of Star Fox 64. A lot of this game really does resemble the Star Fox series meets like air combat. So yeah, or like Top Gun, the political, you know, combat of Star Fox. So there's an infinite number of procedurally generated islands in this game, so that kind of ensures that it's going to be fresh. It's going to be a fresh experience every single time, because the game will generate missions totally randomly, and there's also 12 plus pilotable aircraft with 30 plus weapons and customizable loadouts. Now the controls are also very tight and very manageable, and I feel like that sometimes you're struggling with any sort of simulation, flying game, racing game. If the controls suck, then it's going to be you fighting controls, but fortunately they're good in this game, very good, and very manageable. The airplanes handle beautifully. I only tried a few of the airplanes considering there's so many and so many weapons. In between the runs, as I sort of hinted at before, you obtain tech points, and this is to unlock permanent tech and upgrades. Now, there's basic flight fighter maneuvers that become useful and absolutely necessary. At first, the few times I played this game, I thought, hey, you don't need to maneuver or anything, just fly away, you know, hit the throttle, you'll get away okay. And then the last few times I was playing, I was like, wow, I'm getting locked on, you know, what can I do? And then you just get blasted out of the air, so you can't really generate enough points if you're just going to lose when you're heading back to land on your aircraft carrier. So it's fun, but it can also be very difficult very quickly, very rapidly. So as early as day 3, the game kind of gets a major difficulty spike and gets kind of silly with the difficulty. So level 4 has 5 fighters, level 5 has 30 plus fighters, etc. So that's pretty wild, pretty crazy that it gets that bad that fast. So while it's fun to jump straight into the dogfighting and bare minimum mission requirements, the game starts to feel kind of hollow and unfortunately lacking depth once you realize there's no background story to this. Like, unlike where Air Combat, especially number 7, it's like, this is the story, you know, this is what's happening. There's like a certain dramatic element. It feels like a movie, or like a Mission Impossible movie maybe. This doesn't really have that sort of drama, that heightened tension, and I feel it kind of hurts this game. Yeah, it's fun to jump straight in, but like there's no real consequences. If you die, you die. Like, it's, so what? So it does feel hollow. Plus the game feels like kind of unfair when you get stuck in a stall. Like, there were a few times I got stuck in a stall and I was like, okay, I'm trying to just like do a pass on an enemy, and instead I just got like, the game stalls me and I crash into the the enemy into the like the aircraft carrier, I'm like, well, that's kind of ridiculous, because like I was trying to avoid it and instead the game stalls me. I don't know. So yeah, and you crash into enemies, or they crash into you, or you crash into because you're stuck in a stall, and yeah, there goes all your upgrades instantly, which I think is kind of like, okay, I know it's a roguelike, but still that's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, so like the roguelike leaning and sudden difficulty spikes, first few levels, it just makes it a fairly short experience for most, even though it's cool to just drop in and play just a little bit the arcade game. It just, and it also needs like greater music variety. I feel like I don't know, like just anything basic, otherwise you're just going to be turning off the sound and playing your own music, which I guess works for some people, but I'd like the game to be a complete package. It's mod support. On the plus side, there's a lot of mod support, which you don't usually see in a lot of flight games. You can have like fantasy aircraft from popular movies like Star Wars and real aircraft. The game goes for $21.99 regular price. I feel that's kind of high. It goes on sale for $5 or so, so 5 to 10 is fair. If you absolutely love this type of game, $5 feels fair for the average gamer. You're probably going to play it for a bit, and then there's always the other people that love to play a game endlessly. So while the game is fun and the randomized missions help keep it fresh and totally stale, I feel like Skyrogue really struggles to make you care about unlocking everything in the game, and that's not good when a game will take you a while to unlock everything. And you can so easily lose your progress in the process, unfortunately. So I would say it's a solid 7 out of 10. It could be better. I mean, if you fiddle with the mods, you know, that's going to entertain you for a bit longer. I think it would be great if there was a sequel, because this came out a few years ago. And the community definitely has a lot of strong support for this. So I'd say it's a solid 7, as I said. If you fiddle with things, it's a 7.5 at the very most. It's just a flawed first attempt that starts off fun, but just quickly slides into frustration, unfortunately, as you progress through the crazy difficulty spikes of the game. So it is what it is. So keep on being a rogue fighter and keep on gaming. Bye.